A very good evening to all of you in India and a very good morning to all of you who are in Argentina. Warm welcome to the 237th session of CENTA's webinar series for teachers. We have a wonderful presentation today, a wonderful webinar today. The topic for today's CENTALKS is short, engaging ideas for teens and adults. And the facilitator for this session is Ms. Eugenia Delosa from Argentina. Ms. Eugenia Delosa, currently working as planner, educational advisor, teacher trainer, school leader in Buenos Aires, Argentina. Ms. Delosa is a graduate teacher of English from Argentina. She has been dedicated to English language teaching since 1995. With more than 25 years of classroom experience, she has worked in creation and implementation of bilingual curricula in kindergarten and primary schools, as well as in teacher development courses. She has been a teacher trainer and has participated as a freelance speaker at national and international conferences for the last 15 years. She leads groups of teachers in different educational contexts and coordinates two innovative diplomas in teaching English as a foreign language or EFL at the university. She is a lifelong learner, passionate about teaching in very non traditional ways. We are very happy to have you with us, Eugenia. Welcome. But before I hand over the session to you, I would like to inform all the participants that they will receive participation certificates. All of you who are watching us, you all will receive your participation certificates for the session. So please do fill out the feedback form that will be shared with you towards the end of the session. Now let's all sit back and let the session begin. And remember, you don't forget to participate. Don't forget to type in your names, your school, and your this thing, and whatever classes you teach in our chat box. And please, if you have questions, put them in the chat box. Miss Eugenia we will take those questions up at the end of the
That's it.
webinar. So thank you, and I hand over the stage to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Alok. Thank you very much. Oh, okay. So good evening to you. Good morning to me. It's 8:30 a.m. in the morning in Buenos Aires. I am very happy to be here. I am very happy to be sharing this presentation, one of my favorites, with you. So could you please write in the chat where you are based, where you are from? And as Alok announced, we will be reading the chat. So we need you to participate. So that would be great if you could make any comments. And oh, wow, here. Sorry. So here we are. Thank you very much. This is short engaging activities to energize your classes. Hi, everyone. There are places, lots of places that are, wow, yes, far away from here. And isn't it incredible that we can do this, that we can stay connected, that we can share our thoughts and ideas. So thank you very much for joining. This is short engaging activities to energize your classes. I have been a teacher in Argentina for more than 25 years, and I have always liked the idea of having my students engaged and hooked and sharing my passion for teaching with other teachers too. So this combination is something that I put together, and I organized this talk. This talk has to do with activities to engage our students and to see how to connect them, but short activities, activities that promote the speaking skill. Because in the end, this is what we care about. This is what we're interested in, isn't it? Having students using the language communicatively, using the language spontaneously. So at any level, and this is what we are doing today. This is today's agenda. I have thought of short activities. We will talk about what I mean by short activities. We will talk about why we need these short activities. We will talk about when to use them, when is it appropriate to use them within the classroom, and we will see which activities we will be talking about. So from these 4 points, 1, 2, and 3 will be really quick because this presentation is based on very practical ideas that you can take to your lessons. So number one was, what do I mean by short activities? By short activities, I mean activities that alert attention, activities that give the brain, our students' brains, some kind of break, that let the activities that let their brains like breathe and go on. Um, Activities that promote friendly fun, activities that bring new knowledge into the classroom, activities that boost learning, that keep them engaged, that help them concentrate, activities that motivate our students, that reduce stress, that help them with a mighty memory, foster their mighty memory, that also promote and connect them to others, like giving them peer positivity. We're talking about social emotional learning there. Activities that help them focus. So these are the kind of activities I am going to share with you today. But if I go back, my second point was why? And why do I need short activities? Why am I bringing short activities to you today? Because these are the reasons. The activities that I've chosen are the activities I need in my classrooms. Um, these are the activities I need to connect with my students and to keep them connected to their learning. So I told you the 3 points that were very quick. So when is it that I am going to use short activities? By short activities, I mean activities that are 3 minutes, 5 minutes long, not longer than that. So I will use and I will share with you activities that can be used as warm-ups for the very beginning of your lesson, or activities to introduce a new topic. You say, okay, I need to start a new unit, a new lesson from the book, the textbook you are dealing with. And you say, okay, what can I do from outside the book to connect to the book? So these are the things we're dealing with today. In between activities, when you plan your lessons, you might have one activity and immediately afterwards another activity that are not the kind of activities your students like. So you say, okay, let's do something in between as a brain break or as an in between activity to keep my students hooked. Activities for the end of the class to finish your class, and activities that can be assigned when you are assigned a task, when you give them what we call here homework, some activity to do at home, so that they can stay connected with the lesson from home. So these are ideas, practical ideas I am sharing with you today. Now, which are these ideas? Next slide is about that. But how can we put these into practice? So what I thought was bringing to you activities that can be used in face-to-face lessons, synchronously or asynchronously, because sometimes it depends. We all have different routines and different styles and different lessons. So perhaps you're teaching online and you want to send your students some activity to perform asynchronously. Or perhaps this is a school and you're teaching face-to-face. So all of these activities can be adapted to your needs. Of course, the aim with each of these activities is to practice vocabulary or to concentrate on vocabulary and grammar, either to introduce or revise these topics, and concentrating on the skills, these hard skills from the language, which are reading, writing, listening, and speaking. But you will see that we have the 21st century skills involved here today, because um, we are going to foster our students' creativity, critical thinking, communication, culture, especially in a situation like this. You are inviting me from India, and I am in my hometown in Buenos Aires, Argentina. Uh, Two different communities, two different cultures. So there are lots of things we can learn from here. So my first point was warm ups. What do we mean by warm ups? Warm ups are these short activities we deal with at the very beginning of a lesson. We want to connect our students with the starting starting our lessons. We want them to connect with the English language. We want them to connect with us, teachers. They are teachers. So today I am sharing with you four activities I used a lot. These are activities related to language and to authentic material, using authentic material, bringing authentic material to your lessons. Do you use authentic materials? Do you look for things by authentic materials? I mean, videos, songs, movies. Do you use like the original language? Do you use idioms, for instance? Do you use idiomatic expressions? Do you use tongue twisters? Do you use original proverbs and sayings, things that are used in the real language? Uh, okay, thank you. So my first activity as a warm up is imagine you're teaching the topic related to food. So your unit is related, you start a unit and it is related to food. This can be used with any level. You can bring, um, and this is something I found on the web, that's why I put it here like this, something quick and easy to plan. You look for, you Google English idioms, idiomatic expressions related to, and you choose the topic. So here I have apples and oranges, a banana skin, to go nuts, a couch potato, not to put all your eggs in one basket, cup of tea, as cool as a cucumber. So I am bringing phrases that are used in the real language to teach figurative meaning and metaphorical meaning. So we are connecting them with real language. So my idea is start your lesson with one of these phrases, two of these phrases, explain them to your students and help them connect this meaning to any everyday situation they have. So while um, while bringing authentic material to your lesson, you will see that your students will feel connected to the real language because they will connect to this language in films, in movies, in the sitcoms they watch, in from their favorite actors, actresses, whatever. So my idea is bring something that is cultural, that helps them think and relate to the language, related to the topic, and make it meaningful for them. If you're teaching and talking about food in this unit, bring some food idioms and say, okay, to go nuts. You write it on the board, you write it on the screen, you bring it. What does we can um, we can use the word by word analysis and let's see, can we go nuts? We go and fetch nuts. What do we mean? So we go to the literal meaning, to the figurative meaning. Okay, two different meanings. This is what idiomatic expressions are like. I will share the presentation at the end. We will share a link and you will get this same presentation. Don't worry. With links to other places to get some ideas. So you go nuts. You go crazy. Okay, show me how you go crazy. And how can I put this in context? We say when the teacher saw all the students yelling and and running from one place to the other, she went nuts. So put this situation in context. This is a short activity, 2, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, but you get your students connected to the language before starting your lesson. And it is something quick to have fun with as tongue twisters. Do you use tongue twisters in your lessons? I use tongue twisters a lot. By tongue twisters, I mean these silly rhymes that go, um, um, they are like nonsense, and we go with rhyming words, and we work with lots of the articulation for sounds, lots of phonology involved here. So if I say, how much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? I am giving my students like, wow, what's that? So let's concentrate on the sounds. We go like, the first sound I want to concentrate on is ah. So how much would a woodchuck? So I bring a very short tongue twister. I present it. We play with this tongue twister. We play with the language. We we repeat it. We do it in different speeds. So we say, okay, this is slow motion now. So and we go like, how much would a woodchuck? And you play with the language with your students. Um, in our native language, in Spanish, we have different tongue twisters, and these are always related to childhood. We can use tongue twisters in the second language or in the foreign language, additional language they are learning. Um, we can use these to help them articulate, to have fun, and they are like relaxing when you start playing games in the lesson, and it is just for fun. They are relaxing, they are connecting to the language because they are using English, not with a really communicative aim, but we are helping them connect to the language in a relaxed way, in a way they are relaxed and that relaxes them. Good evening, everybody who is joining us now. So I play with tongue twisters. I ask them to repeat and we do chorus repetition. So I say, everybody, and really quickly now. How much would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? And now very slowly. How much would? And now as if I don't know, we're all very angry. And we pretend to be angry, and especially with very young learners, we need them to show their emotions and we go, how much would a woodchuck? And now we are all very happy and joyful. How much would a woodchuck chuck? So repeating this short activity, we are bringing lots of the theory of neurosciences into the classroom. We are helping the brain connect both hemispheres. We are going and we are using their emotions to connect with the language. So make short and fun activities at the very beginning of your lesson to have your students um, anchoring their feelings with the language, to anchor the language in a way that, oh, I am having fun, I want to do this. The brain gets ready to learn. Um, I agree. I agree with the activities and their surroundings. I love that. When talking about authentic material and the authentic language, um, we can have the idioms, we can have tongue twisters, but we can start grabbing um, proverbs, sayings, things our students can put into context immediately. Never judge a book by its cover is a great one. I think it is something that gives our students a lesson. So when providing them with proverbs and sayings, working with these with teenagers are said to be like very difficult or very challenging audience as students. Start bringing authentic materials. Start bringing things they feel attracted to. Uh, Start bringing films, movies, and phrases for sitcoms. At the very end of this presentation, when we finish, you will receive um, the PDF, and there you will find links to apps you can use. For instance, to look for phrases in sitcoms or phrases in movies, so you can connect these to your students, to their interests. So I bring, and I change from one week to the other. One day I bring idioms related to the topic. I provide them with the context, with the meaning, and we help create a context. This can be a very short activity. It can be mainly oral, but you can also have some written ideas. Oh, I go nuts when, and they write their examples. So you can apply this to any age, with the little ones or with adults too. Tongue twisters, we have fun. We connect with the language in a different way through articulating sounds and working with special sounds. In this case, and would, would. So connect with phonology and the organs of speech, but having fun and without saying much. It's just practicing them. So you can change the tongue twister when you spot some sound issue you want to work on. Proverbs and sayings is my third option here. Change the proverb. And there will be a moment when your students will come with, oh, I saw this proverb in that film. An actor said it when he was interviewed. Or they can bring their own and say, how do you say this proverb in English from your own language? So we are connecting with the authentic material. The last warm up I am sharing with you today is fantastic. I love it. It's one of my favorites. And I called it Toddler's Tantrums. Do you know what a tantrum is? When a kid goes like, ah! In this case, they are toddlers, and they do not want to walk, or they start, so they cannot self-regulate their feelings. But I found this on the web. I found different images of kids and their tantrums. So I used these as they were public images. I used these as I turned these into language activities. I said, I want to take these to my lessons. So we have three different kids. They are absolutely different, not the same. Three different kids. And my question to my students is, can you explain the tantrum here? So from these three different pictures, what do you think um, is happening? Why do you think they are having a tantrum? What would this parent say? The one wearing the jacket um, on the first picture. What do you think this man would say? How would he explain his kid's tantrum, his toddler? Okay, pampering at home. Yes, I agree. So what I do is I ask my students what they think, and they start asking, is it because I don't know, he doesn't want to walk? Thank you, Susanna, for your contribution. Uh, yes, of course, Fatima, I agree. Tongue twisters help them stretch their muscles, and you can add movement to tongue twisters, and it also stretches the brain. So I give my students three pictures, perhaps three different groups, and they have to come to a conclusion together to use their creativity and see why these kids are having tantrums. Uh, okay, so this is the solution. Number one, where are they? So I start asking my students, what's happening? I ask questions and they give their ideas. Perhaps they are not accurate enough, they are not fluent enough, but I am helping them connect with the language through a picture in a different way and start. And I say, where are they? Oh, at the beach. Okay, can you see sand there? No. What is it? Oh, did you know that there are here in Argentina, most of our beaches, the seaside has sand. There is sand there, but just a few with pebbles. So, oh, can we talk about? So I am connecting them to different topics, and then I go back here. And okay, what about this tantrum? Why is this kid here? So they will give me different ideas. The same for the second picture image, where she seems to be stuck in the box. The same for the third one. I don't know what's happening there, but there is a pumpkin involved. So first one, solutions. After chit-chatting with my students about the different possibilities and going and uh, and growing creative and thinking critically to decide whether this is possible or not. But tantrums have no real answer. So, sorry, here we go. Number one, why is this kid having a tantrum there? Because his parents wouldn't let him swim in the sea. So he was really angry. But the thing is that the little one can't swim because he doesn't know how to, and it's 6 degrees. So this was one of the possible answers, but all of the answers your students provided were right. What about the second one? Because the caretaker here, the caregiver, the tutor who was with her, the parent, whoever it was, handed her the wrong pink marker. So that's the way she reacted. The wrong pink marker. It was not this pink marker that I needed, it was the other pink marker. And this is my tantrum. That's what the toddler said. And with the little one, it says, I refused, the caretaker refused to switch the sun off so his pumpkin could light up. So the kid, I guess, they were carving the pumpkin and getting ready for Halloween in some um, native country where they celebrate Halloween. And the thing is, he got really angry, and their tantrum arrived because he wanted his caretaker to switch off the light. So these are things that, for me as a teacher, can provide lots of different ideas for conversation. First of all, would you expose, if you're an adult, talking about adult students, would you expose your kids in the middle of a tantrum they can't control, that are typical for their age, on social media like this? So from the tantrum and the possible things, I go to, okay, is this good or bad? Shall I expose my students to social media, not my students, my own kids, to social media like this? What I am looking for. So is it funny? Is it uh, it is funny? Is it for fun that I do it? And so these are controversial topics that you can use with adults, and you keep them talking. The idea here is to provide activities that make them speak. Apart from that, we can talk about our own experiences with tantrums, those of us who are parents, or those of us who have a good memory and can remember the tantrums we had when we were kids. And we can talk about tantrums with the little ones too. So we are connecting different topics through images, pictures, real pictures, or any picture you will see later. We have more pictures to come. But the idea is ignite the conversation, ignite the start the conversation with something that attracts them, and they do not realize they are speaking. They are speaking in English. Make it concentrate on their fluency, help them become more fluent, and then we work on accuracy. So we had the 4 warm-up activities. This is the introduction of a new topic. So we have again 4 different activities. Number 1, I need to read the chat here. What can you see there? These 4 elements these are pictures. These 4 elements give me the title of an article that is published on the web for activities for ESL learners. Can you help me with this? What do you think this is? What can you see there? Can we brainstorm together what you can see there? Good evening, good evening. I can see a famous actor. Do you know his name? Who is he? That's Brad Pitt. And there are 4 different images. One is Brad Pitt. The other one, okay, there are emotions. There is A girl who is annoyed. Good. I chose this to express some other feeling, not annoyed. Brad Pitt, thank you. She is like, she's not happy. Uh, okay, you talk. Brad Pitt related to cinema. I agree. Brad Pitt is there. We have Brad Pitt, a woman in despair. Good. Okay, and cattle. Scared. I agree. So we have people who is somebody who is shocked. We have Brad Pitt, something related to a movie, and cattle. You can see horses. The girl sees Brad Pitt. She's his fan, and he okay, and he's surprised. Okay, camera shocked. Good. With these four ideas, we have to think of a sentence. So how do I use this? This is from an article I found on the web, a real article, and I made this activity. I chose one title, and before even, and this could be a title from the textbook you're working with, from the article you're going to read. The very frightened, it has to do something like that. Scared, good. Um, so before opening the book, connect your students to the topic with something that invites their brain to think. So this is the answer. You have to connect the pictures. We said frightened or scared. We said Brad Pitt, movie, farm animals. These are farm animals for us, cattle. So this is the title of the article. Brad Pitt movie scares farm animals. So the girl was like a trick. It was the tricky one. I wanted to show somebody scared, but in this case, the ones who were scared were the farm animals. So I am connecting my students to pictures, and this is critical thinking. How can I connect one idea to the other and see whether this is possible or not? So they are connecting, and making connections when learning is essential. We need to teach our students to connect through creativity, critical thinking, through the different language skills they have. So that's one idea. Any headline you need to start reading. You Google for the content words there. And what did I Google for here? I looked up Brad Pitt movie, and I have this camera thing, scare or to scare, and this is the lady that appeared, and farm animals. So the four main, in fact all of the words are here, but the content words are here. I looked them up, and then I asked my students to think of possible answers for a title here. So that's one. After this, I open the book and I read the article, or I work on the article. I introduce the article. But that's a way to connect them to my new input I am introducing. Number two, scrambled sentences. This is a phrase by Mother Teresa. I don't know whether you know the phrase or not. This is a phrase I like, and I use to start a new topic. So I will read the chat. Let's see. I know this is a long. This activity takes longer time than the others, especially this way when I cannot see your faces, whether you're working or not, whether you're solving or not. But um, I will give you some minutes. Let me see if you know this phrase. And my idea is okay, kids, teens, adults, whoever you are teaching, let's put these words in order. How can we put these and make proper sentences? This one is long because this one is long because you are teachers of English and you are uh, people who master the language. For my students, I would choose shorter sentences, but I brought a sentence that can be solved to um, that can be solved to connect with a new topic. So my sentence uses the words angry, away, could, feel, I three times, only people, see twice, things, throwing, use, waste, we, when. So um, we can easily spot the beginning of the of this phrase because we have inverted commas and the ending inverted or quotation. So it starts with I and it finishes with use. So we start using and putting words in order. You can have them. Uh, and this activity is great to show you how different learning styles are applied. Um, you can have the words on the board because you wrote them, on a slide because you typed them, but you can also have cutouts. And by that, I mean words in different pieces of paper. And students need to start moving them around. When you give them the chance to put their bodies into action, to move, we are working with the three channels of perception. The visual, they can see the words either on the screen, but with the paper, they can see and touch. So they are making movements. And believe it or not, the brain likes being in action. So the more senses we involve into our learning, the more connected our students will be. And auditory, I said visual, kinesthetic, and auditory will be the teacher repeating or their student or your students, their own mates repeating the words such as angry, away, where can I put them? So I give them a phrase and they have to unscramble it. And this is the phrase by Mother Teresa. She says, I only feel angry when I see waste, when I see people throwing away things we could use. So this is the phrase my students needed to solve. You can look for a simpler phrase or one that is more complicated. Also, obviously, it depends on your students' level of the language, and it depends on the topic you want to introduce because you might be teaching advanced, very advanced students, but you can introduce a very simple sentence. I only feel angry when I see waste, and that's it. It's easy to solve, but lots of content to talk about. You can start talking about ecology, sustainability, going green. What can we do for our for the environment? We can connect this to Environment Day, to the Earth Day. So there are lots of things from only one simple sentence because I insist we need our students to speak about things. So help them connect with the real world, which is another of the needs we have from the 21st century skills. So, number one, connect the pictures. Number two, unscramble the phrases because they are already scrambled. Number three, and now pay attention. How are these related? How are these related? I will show you some images and I need you to mention the topic. What topic is it? Here we go. What is it? I'm going to introduce a new topic. I'm starting with a new topic. What is it? What are we going to start talking about? What do you think? What are we talking about? Are we talking about school, going back to school? Very good. Holidays and travel. Very good. Yes, that is the Fleming's teaching styles, BAK, and all the variations we had. Good. Vacation and holiday. Good. Great. Fantastic. So I connect my students. They say, we're going to talk about holidays, or what can you see here? Good. But nobody expects how many can you remember? So can we use the chat? The brain, the brain loves novelty. The brain loves having new things. So if you want to have your students hooked into what you are doing, you need to surprise their brains all the time. I am reading comments about tantrums and everything, but yes, the idea of the tantrum was just an example to use with pictures. How many can you remember? I showed you many pictures. Okay, here we go. We had a map. Uh, what else? We had a map exploration, suitcases, hats. Okay, backpacking. Okay, so how many can you remember? Can you give me a number, a figure? How many were there? So again, my my students, sorry, my students would say, holidays is the topic. Good. And now they will start. Oh, I can see this. I can see that. I can see. Uh, and mentioning and eliciting from them all the different words. But perhaps they will never expect from me that, okay, how many were there? Oh, so 15, 10, 9. Oh, let's see. I'll go back and see. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Great. We had a winner. Very good. But some people said 12. Okay. So I connected them to the curiosity in their brains. I connected them to, oh, what is she asking about? The challenge, this little challenge of something to be solved. Good. And then I go back, okay, good. And then I go back to uh, the vocabulary I am interested in. So the topic we will be working on is holidays, trips, and traveling. And okay, and now I go back to the typical activity I do, such as, okay, what's this? What color are they? They are suitcases, good, or luggage, good. We compare and contrast the use of suitcase and luggage and why and the difference, countable nouns and countable nouns. Um, Traveling, have you ever traveled by plane and you go to the use of the present perfect in experience? Um, so we can talk about different kinds of holidays. There are many things we can do, and we go back to the vocabulary. But the first thing we did was to challenge them with how many can you remember? Playing this memory game with them. So, introduction of new topic, we had connect the pictures, scrambled phrases to get to ecology. Introduction of new topic, how are these related? Holidays, these words. And the last one is introducing the new topic with a video. Can you identify this image? I am not playing the video. Can we identify this image? Where is it from? It's from a video clip of a very popular song. Let's see if you can spot it, if you can guess what it is. We can see trees here. The idea is I am asking you if you know the name of the song. It's quite difficult. But the idea is I use a video clip. It is a rainforest. Thank you. So I keep on working on ecology, evergreen forest, nature of these. Yes. Thank you for all those comments. So we have, I am not going to play the video clip of this song, but I will tell you how I use the activity. I play the very first part of Nobody Guessed the Song because it was quite, it's just one image. I will show you the second one to see if you can guess the song. What song is it? Can you identify the song? It is, and I will show you the next one. It is the Earth Song by Michael Jackson. And this is a very special song. It is a song that is very sensitive because it shows you how forests can go from this to this in just a question of seconds. So when we talked about here, Mother Teresa's phrase, unquote, we talked about ecology, we can go back with to ecology by spotting things in the video. What can you spot? And this is your teacher's decision. You choose if you want to talk about simple things because lots of animals are seen, uh, or you can go deeper into thoughts like, okay, what's happening? What can we do? How come this might happen in our home, the earth? So, because of question of time, we're not watching the video, but the idea is compare and contrast with a topic that is really important to deal with. Absolutely important. So the song was The Earth Song by Michael Jackson. In between activities. These are very short, very, very, very short, and they are great. Um, these are the kind of activities I use when I want to cheer my students up, to cheer them up, when I want um, to show them that we need to deal with some reading, some writing that might be uh, boring or time consuming. But when I want to change the atmosphere in my lesson, this is what I do. Number one is a card game I have. I call it Name as Many as You Can. So it could be name as many school elements, school objects as you can. Name as many wild animals as you can. Name as many members of the family as you can. Name as many. So we change the category where the dots are, you change the category. I have printed cards for this. And what I do is I invite my students when I have in between activities. Some of them have finished and some others haven't. So, okay, let's see. 5-minute activity. I grab the card and I say, okay, name as many school objects as you can. So they start pencil, eraser, ruler. Okay, so we change the atmosphere of the lesson. Do you understand what I mean? What we do is we do something all together, we solve it, it's like a challenge, and then we go back. We can call this a kind of brain break. So in between activities would be a brain break, a break for the brain when we give the brain a rest from all the concentration they needed to deal with some stuff. So that is one brain break or in between activity. Another one, in between activities, and you can also use this as as an introduction to the new topic because many of these activities can be used uh, according to your needs. So Google it. We look for different places in the word. In this case, they use Google Lens, but they need to give you information. So through Google Lens, they can find where the place is, who. In this case, I am practicing the passive voice structure because I am asking them when were they built, where they built, and who built them. So give me sentences using this. Google it, Google it with Google Lens if you give them the pictures, and ask them 3 simple questions: who, what, when, how, where. So they need to look for information, make a short text, and read it to you. Riddle time. I like bringing challenges into the classroom. So he has married many women, but has never been married. Who is he? It's the priest. He has married many women in his ceremonies, but he has never been married. Um, a new version is something I recommend, which is Riddle Me This. It is a YouTube page channel where you have lots of other riddles. And I like it because your students go to the riddles and they watch the videos, they have time to solve them. Riddle time, again, using the language in an authentic way.
Mr. Harkness
That's an
decided to jump
example
off a
of the video. Authentic material once again. But you can Google that easily. Another thing, brain breaks. Use challenges for them to make a brain for their brains. Uh, we have different challenging activities. If you Google for brain gym activities, you will find many of these. things that involve challenges with their hands. So you say, okay, thumb and pinky, can we start swapping from one hand to the other? Breathing activities. Ask them to breathe in, stretch their arms, hold it, and then you release the air. Help them stretch. So we need to ask our students to stop whatever they are doing and to play with their hands, to breathe and use breathing activities, to stretch around, and also to focus. But if you say, okay, breathe in, breathe out, give them a challenge. 3 yellow things within the classroom, and you start like, oh, my crayons here, my crayons here. The girl's hair because it's a doll, whatever, what else, and the marker. So, okay, so we help them focus on something different to go back to the activities. End of the class, we finish the class. What can we do? We can help them post the activity on Instagram. This depends whether you have authorizations to use your student's image or not. But do something that connects them to what they like doing or what they do, whether it is TikTok, whether it is Instagram. Use this as an exit ticket to finish the lesson. And you can play a let's pretend, and you do not publish or post this in any social media. Okay, if this is the end of the class. If we had to post a story on Instagram, what would this story say? So ask them to provide you with the content for that. Okay, good. That's it. So create with them in 5 minutes something to finish the class that it is the round off of your lesson. Number 2, we heard Michael Jackson's activity. We have finished it. Who's there? I heard. We're finishing all up. Use lyrics training as a site to solve the activity. You will receive a PDF with links to the activity. Um, First corner. This is you ask your students to make any statement about the task you already have. Another activity like never have I ever used in my classroom. Never have I ever used a toothbrush in my classroom. So provide your students with short statements to complete related to their lessons. Assign for next class, and this is what we are doing for next class. Okay, think of a password. So before starting next class, you have to give me a password. Think of a proverb from the ones we already saw in class to bring and draw it and connect to that. The news behind the picture is the next activity, and bring a problem to solve to connect with our students' learning. I brought a picture like this one, and my students had to guess what it was. So the next time they have to bring a picture from the news and connect to what it was. This is the story behind the news. This hug these two sportsmen are having is because there is a story behind. So this is what you will learn when you get the PDF. Bring a problem to solve. We can have maths problems, linguistic problems, such as these brain teasers. History, history, history. It is history repeats itself. What can you read here? Walking and eyes. Walking on thin ice. So we're going back to the phrases, to the proverbs, the sayings. We're going back to them, but through brain gym activities, brain teasers, things that make our students think. And somebody was saying before that scrambled sentences promotes and fosters critical thinking. Solving these things too help them connect with maths, because this logic problem has to do with language and thinking in a logical way. So bring different kinds of input and ask your students to bring their own and create their own. You will find this in the PDF, which is really easy to follow. So I recommend you read it because it suggests different ways of using pictures in your classroom. not only describe what you can see. And for many international exams, the picture description is like a must. Okay, we can train our students to use pictures in these ways. And now, to finish, uh, this is one of my favorite quotes, which is by Mark Fletcher, who was a scholar on brain friendly learning. And this is something I strongly believe in. And it says, an open mind in a relaxed body empowers the long term memory. Whatever we teach that uh, that gives our students the feeling of I am relaxed here, I am having fun. And I am also learning. They are relaxed while learning. When their body is relaxed, this triggers their learning and stores whatever is happening in their long-term memory. What you learn um, in this way will be stored in the part of your brain that will always stay there. So, thank you very much. This is me. You can follow me on Instagram through this QR code or as Plan Up Education. I like sharing these kind of activities that are short, sweet, um, that promote our students' interests in coming back to our lessons. I don't know whether this is clear or not for you. Um, Thank you very
So
much.
thank you, Eugenia. This has been really a great session. Thanks for coming to Cent Talks and giving us a webinar on Center. And I'm sure all our participants have had a very fun time listening to this informative session, for teaching, for using these great ideas. And I'm sure our teachers have had a lot of takeaways. I'm going to quickly go through a few, try and
Great.
summarize a few that you have done so far. You talked about short activities to keep students engaged and hooked. And you talked about these four questions: why, when, which, how, to make sure that we have students have an alert attention, they have brain breaks, it's a friendly fun activity, they get new knowledge, they concentrate, they are motivated, there's peer positivity, and there's focus. You showed us how to use food idioms, tongue twisters, proverbs, even toddler tantrums, to help students relax. You suggested that we use short fun activities to begin a class. We use things like scrambled pictures and making sentences. What I really liked was the holiday pictures that you put up, and we all were trying to think it's a holiday, and then suddenly you said how many, right? So
Yes,
that's a good activity for kids, for students, because they're focusing on trying to figure out the symbols, and then you ask a very different question.
yes,
So I think that's a great takeaway. Then it was also interesting that you showed us Michael Jackson, song pictures from Michael Jackson's Earth song. Of course, everybody may not be able to recognize that, and especially
I
our
know.
younger generation.
Hmm.
But whatever song is going on at present,
That's it.
so that will work. Then, of course, the riddles: when, where, who. The challenging activities: come to class with the password. You draw idioms, try to figure out what's the news behind the picture. But from all the things, the everything was very interesting. But the one thing that I really liked, the word that I really liked, and I think everybody will appreciate that, is brain breaks. Right? Our students need brain breaks, and if
Absolutely.
you can introduce tiny little activities in there, I think we have a very engaged
Yes.
class. So
This
thank you
idea of
once.
short activities can be used as brain breaks. Absolutely.
Thank you, Miss Eugenia Delosa, for a very engaging and informative session on Cent Talks. And all our center participants are really happy with this. We will be sharing the record of participation for this webinar by tomorrow once you fill all the feedback form. So to receive the participation record, please fill out the feedback form. The webinar code is 9042. I think the form has already been shared. Do attend our next session on CENTALKS on March 14th, 2024. And the Center International TPO is currently going on, so please register for the same and choose your subject tracks accordingly. Again, the link has been shared in the comment section. Thank you so very much, everyone, for joining us today. And to register for more such upcoming webinars, please visit the Center app. Don't forget that if you want your certificate of participation, please fill out the feedback form. And a very, very good evening or a good morning to all of you, wherever you are. We are in two different parts of the world.
Yes.
I think it's amazing, two different hemispheres.
Yes,
So, good
absolutely.
morning, good evening. Have a wonderful evening. Have a wonderful day. And with that, we take leave. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Bye bye.